This little blue guy pretty much built my childhood. Back as early as 1993, Sonic and all the hype surrounding him had me completely swept up in the games, the comics, the music, the merchandise, the cartoons and more. As a matter of fact, here's a look at me, age 5, having the time of my life playing Sonic 2 on my brand new Mega Drive. Well, I'm 21 now and not a lot has changed. Mega Drive's the same, the copy of Sonic 2 is the same, and the person playing is exactly the same too, just a bit older. I still love Sonic and pretty much everything about him. A few years ago, First4Figures announced a new line of Sonic the Hedgehog Classic statues. The first of these was, of course, Sonic himself, and it was released back in May of 2009. The statue was produced as a limited run of 1500, and in my case, it set me back around £90. I only decided to grab one for myself after I saw and found out about First4Figures' 20th anniversary statue, and then finding out that there was no direct way of getting one. I was extremely disappointed knowing I wouldn't be able to realistically get it, so I went and dived into the next best thing. So, was it a good investment? Let's find out. The statue is delivered in this corrugated cardboard box with various warnings and monochrome pictures on it. There's not too much terribly exciting yet, it's only really when we dig in and remove the top cover that we start getting to the good stuff. As dull as the box is, it really served its purpose well when it comes to protecting the statue. Pulling the box out, we see that it's wrapped up in a protective plastic bag to keep dust away. It's really ideal for keeping the box in good collector's condition. With the wrapping removed, we see just how nice a product this is shaping up to be. The Sonic the Hedgehog logo, the stylings, and also the pictures of the statue are here in full force, and it's really testament that First4Figures knows the license they're dealing with. The blurb on the back of the box details a bit about the character as well as the statue and the artist. Also at the bottom is the product number. I'll go into more detail about that a bit later on. Well, we've waited long enough, let's get inside. As you can see, even moments before we hit the styrofoam enclosure, the Sonic style doesn't stop. Getting the enclosure out of the box is fairly tricky without much to hold. It's not too hard, but prepared to do a bit of fiddling. With the enclosure out of the box completely and turned over, we can see that there's even more attention to detail. The First4Figures logo as well as the Sonic writing are extruded into the foam itself. Also on the front of the enclosure is the authenticity card, which is in a small sealed bag. Taking the card away for a closer look, we can see that the card has a great picture of the art from which they based the statue off of. It's the same size and made of the same plastic of a normal credit card. It's seen here alongside just so you get an idea. On the back it details how to register the statue as part of First4Figures' Authenticate program. It's worth taking the time to do. Back to the main event, we can finally break the seal and lift the enclosure away to reveal the statue itself. Getting Sonic out was quite tricky too. He was seated very snugly in the foam and I was worried that during this he may not come out in one piece. Just take your time and try to support the statue as you wriggle it free. The last thing there remains to do is to remove the plastic wrapping, and Sonic is completely free. Completely unboxed, the statue is looking in prime and good shape. Earlier on I mentioned a product number. I got my statue towards the end of a run, so I got a fairly high number. On the bottom we can see that the base has been numbered by hand with the number 1295. In terms of physical size, the statue weighs about 4 kilograms and is 12 inches in height. It's a fairly big statue given what you're getting. The paintwork on Sonic is just simply sublime. Sonic's blue body is perfect in colour and the tan sections of his stomach, muzzle, arms and ears are too. There's little to no spillover when it comes to the edges, just take a look at it close up. The only thing I'm not so keen on is Sonic's pose. This is just personal taste, but this pose to me just isn't one I would normally associate with Classic Sonic. A more iconic one for me would have been this one seen here. But at the same time, maybe that's a good thing, that they're using art which isn't as well known. Anyway, I digress. That said, this gripe is pretty much just personal for me, and the statue still looks great from any angle. If his wonderfully shaped spines don't impress you, then his almost needle-like tail certainly will. However, if there's one part of the statue which I honestly cannot get enough of, it's Sonic's shoes. They're honestly astonishing. A different sort of surface is used on them to bring out a brilliant reflective shine which I've always imagined Sonic's shoes to have. The paintwork again just doesn't disappoint, with everything being beautifully lined and finished. If there's a beautiful part to this statue, it has to be Sonic's shoes. Moving away from Sonic himself, the other thing I absolutely love about this statue is its base. It's been modelled off of Green Hill Zone's grassy plains, and again, the attention to detail has to be seen to be believed. The grass which Sonic stands upon is made from plastic, with small tufts of grass littering the base to add texture and detail. The moulded grass, which overhangs the edge of the base, gives a much needed three-dimensional feel which continues around the circumference of the statue base. Below the grass is another one of Sonic's staples, checkerboard rockwork. There isn't too much to really say about it other than the fact that it looks nice and it completes the look very well. It was here, however, that I did find a very small paint defect on the back. However, it's the smallest of imperfections, and again, it's at the back where it's not going to be seen. Overall, the artist Lou Bin has captured Sonic in an excellent way. The craftsmanship of the statue, the work that's gone into painting it, and the choice of colour and material are all perfect. To wrap up, First4Figures have produced something which is truly a sight to behold. But even after all this, is this statue worth the £90 you'll end up paying for it? Well, for die-hard Sonic fans, you're going to find a lot to love here. I've pretty much already forgotten about that 20th anniversary statue that... Well, you know what, I'm going to tell a lie there. It's still as big on my want list as ever. But that said, this is much likely a much finer piece of work overall, and I simply cannot overlook that. The statue is beautifully sculpted, painted and presented, even down to the touches on the packaging. If you love Sonic and are a fan of well-produced items and have an eye for something that's going to stand out in your home, you can't go wrong. Sonic has been with me now for a long time, and this Sonic will certainly be staying with me in this spot in my room for a long, long time to come.
Rockwood! I'll put it on the all ocean zone. I'll put